one of their strongest strategies. So maybe they just needed some more time, and we'll see them come into their own this week. Currently, they are at 4-4 in the middle of the standings and would not want to drop a game here against OpTic because there's been a big rush here towards the top of the standings, and they still have a shot at shooting up.
We'll see if they can do that right there. And you're seeing TSM kind of learn some lessons from earlier, the Talon away from Power of Evil. He's done a lot of funneling as well as self-funnel, which is mid-smite, but with a normal jungler that would be played by Acadian. Talon, one of the very best champions for that kind of strategy. TSM trying to pick some of that. OpTic Gaming doing very standard, tried and true red side bans. TSM, a team that has not done a lot of different things. They've played one non-marksman bot lane. They've played one funnel game on Bjergsen. Otherwise, it's
both last week.
Yeah, it's been otherwise pretty much all stock standard. So Varus locked in very early. Funnily enough, the Varus song was playing during the break, so that's kind of interesting. Either way, maybe they're influenced. I doubt it heavily. They picked the champion.
Yeah, they are leaving open once again a Xayah Rakan combo. Or actually, Rakan was banned out. Never mind. So that has been split up. But again, you mentioned the Talon ban, which is more unique to facing OpTic Gaming, right? And it's one of these trends that we've seen recently. Mid laners taking Smite, starting Raptors, so you get an early level 2, and then power farming your way through the game with a big experience lead with champions like Aatrox, Echo, Talon. 2 of those have been banned out. There are still more options. Power of Evil already tried to do it on Syndra.
Yeah.
And that was one of the attempts. So there are many other options. As long as you have some sort of AoE, you can do it with a mid lane champion. And Power of Evil's always been a guy to try, Smite or any sort of alternate strategies to get him or his team an edge.
And he'll try once again. OpTic Gaming had a lackluster spring split, and it's been a bad start to summer as well, but there's still more games to play. They can keep pace with C9 and make that run towards the playoffs. Of course, OpTic themselves, only 2 games behind a playoff spot as well. If they can make the run, they've got 10 games counting this one to do it, and they're going to hope they can make this one happen. Of course, a Jhin and, pretty standard jungle pick for them as well, as TSM go for a semi-blind to the top lane. They probably expect Mundo for Dokla here, and so they grab the Gangplank early on, hoping that's going to be the matchup he plays into. Otherwise, though, just wanted to grab that as soon as they can.
Honestly,
what OpTic wants to run.
Yeah, Gangplank has been a great champion for Hauntzer. We haven't talked about him a lot recently, as there hasn't been a huge amount of story around TSM, but Hauntzer had some very good hard carry performances with Gangplank. And we've also even, as of recently, seen it in the bottom lane to try and counter like Heimer lanes. Yeah. Probably not going to be that, especially since there's no Heimer already locked in on OpTic, but this could be something for TSM to work around, right? A global from the top. They already have Tom Kench global there from Mithy in the bottom lane. It's been one of his most played champions throughout his entire career.
Yeah.
So there is mobility here for TSM early on. On the opposite side, OpTic, of course, looking at those power picks. They have the Kindred for Acadian, and that guy is a jungler who likes to play carry champions, likes to invade a lot. So maybe he'll be able to get it done here. Meteos mentioned on the analyst desk that if there's a tank support for you with the Kindred, it makes it a lot easier for getting vision on the bottom half of the map, and that is also true for themselves. So looks like they have a pretty good early phase of the draft going already.
Yeah, I do think OpTic are set up to kind of play a good style for them. Dokla, there's going to be a million tanks still to play, even with the Orin ban right here. Power of Evil will get counterpick for the mid lane, and that's one that I expect to do quite well for OpTic. Bjergsen, probably the best mid laner of all time in North America. His accolades, his number of trophies, larger than anyone else on the planet as far as any LCS trophies are concerned. PoE, he has been the star, and if OpTic are to win, it might just be through that lane. And Caden having a pretty strong jungler will help that happen. That's kind of been a 1-2 punch for them. Hoping that everyone else can kind of chip in around the sides. Everyone a pretty comfortable champion for him as well. Maybe it'll happen. So Syndra off the table. No Trundle for Grig either. And there is that Mundo ban. Even though they picked up the Gangplank, and Gangplank will be a good matchup, they still want to remove some of the big dumb tanks that Dokla might play.
Yeah, the mid lane matchup you bring up between Power of Evil and Bjergsen is such an interesting one, because in the beginning of Power of Evil's career, a lot of his hype was built up around defeating Bjergsen in TSM. I believe it was Oakland or San Jose.
Yeah.
Was the first.
Almost the same city.
Tournament. Very close together.
Yeah, I'm from San Jose, I can say that.
But yeah, a NorCal tournament. And continually, whenever they got matched up after that, Power of Evil would get super hyped up. Like, yeah, I'm going against Bjergsen. I'm the anti-Bjergsen. I get down all the time.
Kryptonite.
And Bjergsen's like, nah, that's not a story. Why are you getting so amped up, buddy? Yeah. But the Syndra ban coming out was very interesting to me because that is also one that Power Vivo obviously used with a Smite very effectively himself. And it looks like they're going to be matched up in the Galio-Jace matchup. Could be a top lane Jace.
Yeah, I mean, top lane Jace is supposed to be good in a Gangplank from what I recall, and Dokla had been very good in Academy like way back last split, and we were kind of hoping to have that. Yeah. Exactly, playing carries. He's been a carry player, and if this is OpTic saying, okay, new week, new us, let's find a new look. Can we find something that'll actually work? I like throwing things to the wall, seeing what sticks, saying, all right, Dokla, go try to beat up Haunter in the top lane. Hopefully your practice is there. There's a Xin Zhao jungle for Grig as well. So TSM back to the Galio that we had actually mentioned in Champ Select or before Champ Select.
Our stories have come full circle because TSM practicing Galio from last year with Bjergsen on that one. Now they've got triple global composition with an aggressive jungler in Xin Zhao.
Yep.
The weakness of the champion is that you have no escapes usually, but if you have a Galio, a Gangplank ultimate, and a possible Tahm Kench bringing extra members to your assistance, you can play it aggressively. So maybe this is the comp for TSM to make some proactive plays once they get the level 6s coming in.
Yep.
And try and play around their jungler. Position on the team that has been changed out quite frequently and is always the hot topic when you're considering their team.
Absolutely the case. So I want to take a quick look over the OpTic side of things. TSM, a pretty tried and true composition for their players and their style. OpTic bringing out the Victor in the mid lane for Power of Evil. He now accounts for more than 10% of all pro Victors this split in the top 5 regions. 12 plays, one of which was already from him coming into the game. Now he is 2 out of 13 globally. So a big comfort pick for him, his second Victor game of the split. And of course, he needed magic damage with a Jace, Kindred, and Jhin on the team. So it's going to be all up to him to carry. He's up against his Galio the mid lane. Galio Xin Zhao can be a very, very scary 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 to gank with. So going to be up to him to play this one very well. But the sole magic damage dealer, PoE, the big carry of OpTic.
Yeah, Victor definitely going to be able to scale well into later in the game. He's also going to want some early mana and rushing towards the speed upgrade for his Q to try and help out with that positioning.
Well, speaking of early mana, actually, he's going Kleptomancy in the lane matchup as well. So PoE, definitely a player who loves trying out new things. A famous example being Nashor's Tooth Orianna. He had the crazy move speed Syndra last week. This time, Klepto Victor into a melee matchup to scale up quickly.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of opportunity to get those auto attacks off to proc the Klepto. Go for Qs on a Galio whenever he moves up for the passive smash AoE damage. Should be able to get some rewards off of him.
And Pink Birdio for Bjergsen. Arguably the best Galio skin. If you disagree, you're probably wrong. And TSM just fanning out to start things out. OpTic doing the same, so we'll wait to see as we get ourselves in. TSM are now 2 wins behind the first place 100 Thieves. 1 win will bring them a little bit closer. Either way, though, definitely their fate is in their hands. TSM, a poor showing for their standards in spring. Only a 5th, 6th exit in playoffs, their worst ever. Want to make that better this time around. And now, a late invade. And ooh, Klepto bag of gold. O-P. O-E.
A bit of a stretch there, but I'll take it.
Thanks.
Honestly, yeah, getting a Sly Sack of gold off the first interaction here for Power of Evil, this may bode well. I mean, the main goal is you want to fund your upgrades of your Hextech core as early as possible, and now that's going to get him there that much quicker. Looks like we are going to have a bit of assistance on a Raptor start here for Grig with the Xin Zhao. Is this going to be a rush to an early level 2 gank or something off of Red? Going to try and get maybe even an early level 3 possibility. The standard Scuttle Crab wards are down, so if he does venture into the river early on, he will be seen. You can see those are the 2 wards on either side there for OpTic. I do see both Scuttle Crabs. Interesting move also from Acadian, who went red right into the Baron wall. Uses Dance of Arrows to get right over it. So he's here for the spawn of this Scuttle Crab. And let's see, does the Mark spawn here or
nope.
Bottom one?
Bottom. 50-50 coin flip goes bad for Acadian, sadly, and Grig's going to walk right over. And it's going to be an uncontested Scuttle, no chance. So that's rough stuff. Of course, 4 stack is the important one for Kindred, gives you bonus attack range, but every individual stack gives you a bit of attack speed on your Q, but a damage in your W and E, so even individual ones can matter over the course of time. Either way, things traded, and it's going to be also mirrored blue buff invades. On top of wards or not, it's still going to be pretty much uncontested.
Yep, going to trade sides of the map here. And this is pretty good for OpTic. They want to have Dokla plenty of alone time early on with the Gangplank. Jace is very oppressive for the early stages. The range advantage, being able to constantly get harassment off and push Haunter under turret.
I want to point out something very unusual. Mithy recalled early for a control ward and is running into this western jungle hoping to maybe stuff Acadian a bit. And he's going to be able to see him here, and is there going to be much of a collapse? Smites gets one of the wolves, one of them gets stolen away, and Blast Cone's out. He is not going to be found, but that was an interesting choice where they're hoping to find a collapse and pick off Kindred, but that one will not happen.
I do like the attempt there. If they were a little bit quicker with the second half of their collapse, the Sin and Galio from mid lane to cut off that escape, maybe they at least heard a flash from Acadian. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, looks like Sven is fine with the minion wave pushing towards him on the Varus, and he's CSing okay. So Mithy taking that opportunity didn't cost them too much. Sven is down a couple of minions, but he gets to pick them up right here and should get a lot closer in the CS.
Yeah, not too painful right now. Individual gold-wise, there is a few hundred gold lead for OpTic. Of course, some of that being Kleptomancy on this Victor, slightly matched by the Gangplank on the other side. There's a jungler waiting in that Triburst. So OpTic could be ganked. There's the exhaust into the Q slow as well. The flash to get a bit more. He's going to be chopped up, no problem. Pulls him back in, and Greg ready to follow through. There is almost no way out for Big, and he's not going to burn the flash. First blood goals go over to Zen, 400 gold richer.
Ask and ye shall receive. Grig with multiple early moves here. TSM, they're criticized for being slow and lethargic, yet now proactive, make the first couple of moves for themselves, and they're rewarded with some early gold. The kill onto Big is going to go over. Let's take another look at it now. OpTic almost backed off there, you know, Arrow and Big after the slow landed, but they walked right back in. Mithy was happy to finish up the stacks. His first stack didn't time out, so he was able to get the last one, but oh!
Going for the dive. That one was your Ace for Predator replay, and that's going to be a tower dive in as well with the wave. I'm not sure which way it's going, but a trade of blows all the same.
Woohoo! Dokla does get the kill on the Haunter there. It's not going to be disastrous for Haunter because he also has, you know, TP. Both of them do have TPs, and the minion wave is actually just outside of turret range, so it's not that big of a deal.
Ooh. Control ward, though, for OpTic means it's going to be a little bit more of a fog dive here for TSM, and they're going to go for this play here. Now, watch out for the Q cooldown because they want to make sure they can push this guy away, slows him off. The Smite battle, he's in range, okay. Akita picks that one up.
Yeah. If Mithy had gone down there maybe earlier with the Tom Kench, you can try and threaten nomming away the Scuttle Crab from a far range, but yeah, they zone him out. I know it was a bit too dangerous to fight over that one. You do want to deny marks to Kindred, but you don't want to lose your life over it. Here's another replay of Dokla's all in. Jumps in with the melee, gets the slowdown. Nice movement there with the auto attacks. And then even though they both flat,
barely gets the auto off.
Still gets the last one. And it is an Area to Power.
Okay, well, 300 gold lead now to TSM. The first blood, of course, making that change happen here. 4 CS difference in the top lane. So right now, Dokla not bullying Haunter all that hard, and now a level 6 Gangplank can affect the map quite strongly. Also, Sinjal's coming to gank, and Bjergsen making around as well. Dokla 1v3, ulti is on. He's going to try to run away as fast as he can. Bjergsen go for the flash dub. He's going to pull that one in. The rest of the team is there. The knockup's going to be pretty easy to land. The knockback, could they get the kill? It will be a trade with the mark stacked over for Acadian. As Greg actually moved himself around to the side and was knocked back into the turret.
Great heads-up play there from Dokla. As Grig flash ease in with Xin Zhao. He's able to just knock him right back under the turret and give that kill over to Acadian. As you said, not only does he get the mark, he gets the kill money onto this Kindred, which is going to be very big for him early on. Already has a large CS lead in the jungle over Grig because Grig has been throwing out ganks left and right. You know, a lot of moving around the map. And Acadian has been hard farming the jungle there on the Kindred. So even though it's another early move from TSM and they're being super active on the map, cross-map plays left and right, it's still a counter kill there for OpTic. They got, honestly, more back out of that counter kill.
They got a mark.
With the extra summoners as well, because that was a flash from Bjergsen and Grig to force it, plus giving over the mark.
And yeah, no time in lane for Bjergsen, of course, walking out. Maybe lost a wave as PoE shoved it in. Either way, nice. Couple attempts right there, back and forth. I actually want to do a quick klepto track on both sides if I can. I'm actually not sure it's actually able in spectator, but
I'll take over the play-by-play then. Go ahead and do your research there.
Yeah, I immediately have nothing, so we're done.
And you're fired.
I am fired. I am one of the worst investigators of all time, and that is unlucky. That's okay. We're back into the map, and oh no, who killed the control ward? It was Acadian. I found it out. All right, I'm back on track.
Nice.
50% closure rate.
Actually, we have another rotation here as Mithy's made his way to soak the minions in mid lane, and it's a collapse here from OpTic. They're making their way to try and force the blue invade with the level advantages that they have. But TSM are keeping up here and spreading out. They're able to secure that one for Bjergsen, who's down 20 CS is the current count versus Power of Evil. In addition to his 5 stacks of gold that he was able to get early on, he is
That's Mark 3.
definitely on his way. Nice. 3 marks 8 minutes into the game in a competitive match.
Yeah, that's
is
pretty
actually
solid.
very high because you don't usually get a lot of them super early on, so well done here for OpTic and Acadian. Scaling on Kindred gonna feel very nice. He's going the super standard, press the attack plus Blood Razor upgrade. There are other options if you're, sometimes people on live and solo queue, if you're facing something like a Xin that's gonna all in you, they go with the overheal and fleet footwork combination, and you can even do warrior with that, so you get bigger heals.
Right, yeah.
But definitely a lot more damage with this standard setup that we're seeing so far from Acadian.
And so far holding on pretty nicely. 300 gold lead for OpTic and holding on to a pretty standard early game. It seems to have been a pretty counterpick heavy game as well. The Jason to the Gangplank, the Victor into the Galio, and even the Jhin was picked after Varus here. So it felt like they got to kind of counter almost all the lanes and still get a high-tiered jungler in this Kindred. So we'll see if OpTic can work through the rest of that and hold on to this lead. OpTic has actually been a pretty decent early game team. Their average stats at 50 minutes is actually up in gold and up in turrets over the course of this NALCS split, but of course being a 2-6 team, their mid game has been lacking, and that's going to be where their growth really needs to be here. TSM, a team known for being slow and then winning in the late game either, so even with a gold lead doesn't necessarily mean that much for the red team.
And especially if you're looking at the champions here for both teams, TSM, we mentioned the level 6 power that they have with possible global ultimates coming through. Gangplank, Galio, and now Mithy as well on the Tahm Kench have the ability to move quickly or affect the map from a very long range away. And if you start that out around the Xin Zhao, as your point of power, going all in, getting an initiation on someone, that can be where you get your advantage. Even though the early game's gone pretty well for OpTic. Okay, Hanser here.
Yep, jumps in for the play right there, has to jump back in a second. Look at that damage output there. Hanser running out of health, pops the stopwatch. And Acadian actually, afraid of the Orges coming through the shock blast. Good flash away. Hanser stays alive. But that is stopwatch and a flash down. What a nice gank, I guess, for Acadian.
Yeah, just moving his way up through the river. Happens to find the Gangplank there. Red Smite and your jungle item completed. Kindred is a very scary 1v1 opponent for him. So immediately Hanser has to get himself out of there. And that means Acadian gets full alone time there with the Rift Herald. Maybe Grig gonna go in and stop him though.
Yeah, and actually he sensed it out. They realized what was going on. He's gonna back out here. Grig, I don't believe he'll be able to poach this, so just gonna kill the Warden as the Herald resets.
And again, during that, you see Bjergsen moves over. They also had another recall from Mithy. Mithy has been constantly recalling, roaming to the top side of this map for the whole game. So TSM really using the threat of those global abilities pretty effectively, even though they haven't fully committed with them yet. Hanser obviously used a lot of his cooldowns, though, trying to escape from that.
All right, either way, TSM have managed to stem most of the bleeding, though, from a lot of heavy counter picks. Top lane farm still very close together. PoE is up quite a bit in the mid lane. That's been a nice point for them, as he's got still his tier 1 Hex core right now. Just the E augment so far. So we'll be scaling up individual gold-wise. He's got enough for almost the rest of the item. Actually does have enough for a perfect Hex score, so that's the recall here.
Yeah, I really like it too. He's gone with the free boots there that have come in, the magical footwear. That really saves you a lot of time in rushing to your first powerful completion of your item. Victor revolves so heavily around the Hex score upgrades. There you go, Freak. He's got it on his back.
Yeah.
That especially champions like that, I like the option. In addition to them providing just a lot of effective power once you get them to come in. Since he had a good early game, didn't need boots on early, I think he's been fairly efficient with his setup.
And now I want to see where he goes with the setup afterwards, because we have seen a heavy mana stacking PoE before where he went for like a tier right afterwards, or sometimes an early tier as well. Of course, lots of big mana ratios on the champion specifically, or if he goes into Lich Bane or Shield. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of places you can go with Victor. He's got a lot of hooks in the kit for itemization, so I am curious what he wants to build toward. OpTic actually roaming towards mid, maybe have a chance at going for a gank. Bjergsen right now, no tank items, just the Rod of Ages. I guess if you want to call it that, then he's got some durability, but could be a gankable champion.
Look at this, both of the bottom lanes roaming after their recalls too. This time Sven made his way up to the top side, but OpTic are already invading blue. They should be able to steal this buff away and have Arrow and Big on their way through the river.
All right, that's a nice little proactive play, though. OpTic maybe trying to turn on the pace a little bit more. We've got the sounds of a Tahm Kench ult, but
Cancelled.
Yeah, canceled, so he goes away with that one. Gold traded back and forth as they clear away some of these wards. And now a slow, but not quite the root. This could be enough to get away. They're going to actually burn the ults to go for this play. Can they kill off Mithy? And they can actually back right back off, so nothing picked up here.
Whew. That was close. If they're all grouped up like that and TSM had Grig in position for a combination with Galio Ultimate, they might have decided to go for that one, considering the ults that were just used with the Braum trying to get the initiation onto Tahm Kench. They don't have people quite close enough, though, and the call is to back off. This game is very tense, Freak.
Yeah, it is.
With them hanging so close right now, it feels like the big straw is going to come in fighting over that vision. We saw it almost break right there, fighting over these control wards, but everyone backing to get more of those control wards right now, try and set up.
I just have the worry on the OpTic side that hesitation, or sorry, the waiting for that big break, the vision play is going to favor TSM. They're happy to generally play a slower early game. OpTic, of course, did try to play around their power spikes. They just finished Storm Razor. They just finished the perfect Hex Core as well, but weren't quite able to get the fight. Meanwhile, Sven actually going for a much more greedy scaling build. I've actually seen a lot more Ruin King Varus, and it's a much better early item power spike as well. Rage actually needs kind of more items behind it to really scale in. And so kind of waiting to see those come through, because it's definitely a slower spike with a build like this.
Yeah, and you mentioned, not only that, Gangplank working on his Cole, trying to finish this one, and that pop will probably get him to the Trinity Force. Galio stacking up the Rod of Ages. But right now, TSM all moving up to try and get this turret, and Arrow trying to kill the minions.
They're going to have the damage here, even though the minions are gone. Sven knocks it down. First turret to the bot laner in the top lane as the roam came around from OpTic's side, and they will at least trade a turret, but that extra money from first is still going TSM's way, which puts them now ahead 700 gold. TSM in the lead for the first time this game.
All right, Rift Herald started up again. This one might be the site of another confrontation. Currently, Acadian is actually counter jungling on the other side of the map, though, and OpTic still forced TSM off. So maybe it will be Acadian. You can actually solo Drake very easily with a Kindred with Blood's Razor completed. It was a possibility, and it looks like he might go for it. They do have vision.
Yeah, lots of damage there, and no one is anywhere close to him on this map, so shouldn't be possible to steal unless Hanser goes for a random barrel chain 5 screens away, which isn't doable. So autos come in, early smite. Acadian knew he was safe, picks that one up as the blue is transferred over. So some things starting to stack up for OpTic. Again, the gold though 800 behind. Now got the work cut out for them as TSM starting to crest into that mid game.
Control ward goes down, turns off both of those around the Rift Herald, but TSM, they've already been spotted. OpTic know they were on the Rift Herald, and it takes a long time to finish.
Slow root on a Mithy, doesn't help left on Rift Herald. They're gonna go for the shots. They pick that one up. Sven snipes it down, so Herald goes over to TSM. OpTic forced off of that one, killing a couple of wards, but now maybe look for more at Mithy. Will he flash the wall? He chose to get stunned. Instead, they're really gonna wait for this one. Baits in a little bit, but finally does flash to get over.
I'm not quite sure why Mithy took that route around. In the end, he does burn his flash. We'll see if he gets punished for it later. Tahm Kench oftentimes will get focused early on in teamfights, especially when he's not that tanky in the early stages because of the Devour. So maybe he'll get punished, maybe he won't. Right now, though, OpTic would like to get the top outer turret first and use that gold to finish some items up.
Another little play by Big and PoE where PoE sat over the wall and waited for Big to clear the wards. I like that little teamwork there, knowing that Braum came up to the teammate. You can play really aggressively, know you have an escape route, and help them get rid of some more of TSM's vision. This mid lane has been pushed quite a bit. You can see, in fact, TSM waiting for the flank, actually on a ward by doing so. The rest of OpTic able to kind of play around that nicely. This mid turret down to half HP, and that is kind of the factor of some teamwork. Now another duel down here. Dokla versus the Barrels kills them both, and pushes back Hanser yet again as Acadian goes for yet another Scuttle Crab. And that's mark number 4, I do believe. And so finally has 575 range.
Juicy. That's a really good timing to finish up their 4th mark, too. As TSM, with the Rift Herald, would probably be looking for a bit of an aggressive setup here fairly soon. OpTic are trying to keep Dokla split pushing versus Hanser, but Hanser's going in on him.
He's going to try for this one. Some barrel chain's not going to land. The ult comes across, but now the other ult's coming in. Smithy brings in reinforcements, brings in Sven. Has to go for a bit of a duel, pushes back Smithy. No way, Dokla gets out. Is shut down, but the health bars are a bit low. Doesn't matter though, 4 members of TSM, they stay safe. A great gank comes through.
Super aggressive use there of the Tahm Kench ultimate pays off big for TSM. They get the kill. They also get an open tower to use the Rift Herald on. OpTic though, trying to counter push in mid lane and will trade.
And that's going to be a turret going down. Yes, as you mentioned, it will be a trade, but extra kill on the one side feels good for TSM, and they can keep pushing. Of course, Herald, a demolitionist in its own right.
You have to answer Rift Herald pushes. She can do so much damage if left unattended there. Another half of that turret is gone. They actually don't stick to the push here and overextend. OpTic should be able to go clear out the Rift Herald, so she goes down, but bottom turret actually now down to half health.
And we can watch that fight again. This replay brought to you by Acer Predator as the gank comes through 3 versus 1.
Again, Dokla, not much he can do about getting cornered here on the Jace. He does have flash, but gets exhausted early on, doesn't want to spend the summoner spell, knows that he is dead to rights, and TSM able to finish that one off.
And you can see now this game 1,000 apart, TSM eking out small leads over time, and the fear is their history has shown us OpTic might be running out of ways to come back from behind later on in the game. Grig knocks down the red buff, feels pretty good about this one. You know, doing pretty standard Xin Zhao things, of building fairly aggressively. Warrior enchant into a Phage. Mid lane's already been going down thanks to his earlier Victor pushing, but OpTic moves the next team fight as items come through. The Lich Bane is done for Power of Evil, so very much about finding a frontliner to attack.
But honestly, if you look at how OpTic are going to try and win, you know, you have a Jace on your team and you want to keep them split pushing, you're playing that into this basically triple global composition TSM have, which is engineered to destroy split push. We saw it on display in the last instance where this is Tahm Kench's ultimate comes in and the Gangplank actually punishes you for trying to split push against him. So it does look fairly difficult for OpTic to fully utilize the strengths here, considering the answers that TSM have drafted already for themselves. Yeah. Bottom side, though, should be easier for them to get the 2v1 onto Hanser.
All right, they're going to try again towards Dokla here, but yeah, this time he's okay. And there's no gank coming through for Kindred. And actually, no one was even on that side of the map. They just didn't go for the play.
So Galio, yeah, Galio was all the way across on the other side of the map, so that semi-global can't come in. It would only have been Mithy who was walking down to get in that Tahm Kench range, but they still pull off the play. And if they're not going to, pull the trigger there, looks like, yeah, TSM are going to be very happy to put a stall on that one.
Well, slowly but surely, TSM farming pretty nicely. Up 3 in the top lane and up a solid 20 in the bot lane as well. This is at least PoE winning his matchup, but expected based on champion select. That's now TSM looking a bit more aggressive. Nashor's Tooth done on Sven. He's actually got very good damage output now. 2-item Varus for AP Varus, pretty solid. But not going for turret damage just yet. They're playing very defensively, don't want to get picked off. No flash Braum ults. Just shoving the wave and turn back.
30 seconds on this Mountain Drake here. And OpTic do have some deep vision in this area of the map, so they might actually use this as their instance to try and pull off the fight. If they can land some Jason poke beforehand maybe, establish dominance over this area of the map. Whereas TSM, they've got no vision over the Drake. Maybe they actually don't even stick anyone out there for OpTic to take advantage of.
Yeah, they just might not. But waiting for the next play. Mountain Drake up right now, and OpTic first to the play. They're inside the river. Vision-wise, TSM, it's basically dark. OpTic actually starting it right away, and it's going to be uncontested. TSM happy to bleed Drakes. They don't seem to care. They're playing for teamfight power, probably for the Baron itself, and to control their side lanes. That's been okay. OpTic on Cloud and Mountain. They actually have a pretty solid Drake, Baron killing team. 2 marksmen. PoE's got a lot of damage. Actually, you guys 3 marksmen. You consider Jace that as well. That's a pretty solid lineup. TSM will have to respect this, and right now they're actually not playing for vision control, so OpTic able to walk into that river cleanly after already showcasing themselves on Drake and saying, okay, TSM can't see us. If we can sneak the team in, they can go for a Baron sneak.
Only a possibility. TSM have been caught with blindside Baron plays before. So they want to get some, at least Scuttle Crab vision. Scuttle Crab looks like it is up around Baron right now, and there are control wards there. A little bit of poke goes down onto Mithy, though.
Oh, they find the root for the cleanse. Power Evil's going to walk away, but they're still going to get the root onto Big. That's okay. A trade of Varus ultimate for cleanse. That is a better cooldown for Sven. Round 2 in a minute.
Scuttle Crab goes over to Acadian during the little exchange there. So OpTic, you have full control over the area. And right now, Hanszer on the gangplank, he is just pushing all steam forward.
Yeah, he is fearless.
He's waiting for them to collapse the global.
Here comes Galio. Dokla Flash is still knocked up, goes to the chase, and Bjergsen going to find the taunt. They're going to find the kill. Now Acadian in the backside, but he is 1v3, pops the ultimate. Looks for damage on a Hanszer. Can they get this trade, though? Turret shots can come through, and now Jhin opens up, but they've gotten out of range. Nothing to really be shot at here. Greg takes a couple hundred damage, but it might not matter. Mithy a bit low, but doesn't get bursted out. He survives this damage. A nice taunt comes through. Big. Gonna pop a stopwatch, but it's still OpTic in a 4 versus 5, and they've already lost one of them. 3v5 now as TSM are in complete control here. And can they find another kill as Greg just fights a Gromp to get his health back up?
Yep, TSM going to be able to push afterwards as well. They get 2 kills for themselves with the globals. Once again, this team composition engineered to answer these split pushes. OpTic, though, trying to force it here on the Baron. This is a lot.
Yeah, with Sven and Bjergsen there, that cannot be an easy Baron for us. OpTic, I appreciate the try, the attempt. I think they might have had to be desperate there. They at least forced 2 teleports off of not much cost.
That feels like your bluff was just called, and everything's been shown here for OpTic now. They just lost the side lane play, then used their teleport as well, so they don't have a lot of cards left.
Caden jumps the wall. They're going to lose vision control here. Still appreciate the attempt. TSM answering pretty cleanly enough, and now comes the reset for those who were still on the map. 2 items right now on Arrow's Jhin. That is not really where you want to be, I feel like, 25 minutes into the game. CS seems to be dropping a little bit here. Despite the 3 turrets they picked up so far, Arrow has a lot of room to grow. I feel like Sven is in a stronger spot right now. Void Staff, though, just got one shot by Power of Evil, so he's going to be a much better frontline killer. He's just hoping to be that damage.
That's what you call purchasing an item? One-shotting?
If you buy it from nothing, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it's probably the right term, because one-shot means something else. But that's where my vocabulary is right now.
I'm feeling it.
What would you say?
Work with what you have, freak.
Yeah. I got 12 words at a time.
I would say he bought a Void Staff.
He did buy a Void Staff, but I like a word that specifically means you bought it with no components.
Okay.
But I feel you, man.
Take me through this replay, buddy,
well,
because I did it the first time.
All right. Well, you see, there's a nice attempt to stop Mithy's ult, which is actually really sick, because it means they've got the chance at making a 2v3 happen, but that dive is way too good. He's got no defensive tools to worry about, like a Flash Galio. And then this little attempt here by Acadian, he actually kites away, and Arrow's actually not in range to chase down Hanszer. I think he could have maybe built some space with that, or helped actually the 3v2 against Mithy, but he actually kind of shot at kind of neither side. I think the 3v2 against the Tom Ketch could have worked, but Arrow couldn't help.
The organization here for OpTic not there in this spread out fight, and TSM actually did a pretty good job of grouping together there after they went for that tower dive, so protecting each other on the way out. And then, of course, they also answered the Baron counter attempt from OpTic to stall it out.
Well, they're going to hope to stall it a little bit longer. Right now, 2,000 gold difference. TSM ahead, but not so insanely that there cannot be a comeback. This hasn't happened much so far this split. But they can still, of course, try that Void Staff that was purchased. Power of Evil will have a better time killing frontline, and maybe Kite Back will work, but it's still only 1 tank for OpTic. That feels difficult. TSM with 2 frontliners feel like they can kite this a little bit more easily. Double Zonia's Hourglass done as well now as Bjergsen and Zen each have one. It's going to be hard to kill through those, even with a high AP Victor.
Yeah, definitely true. And as well, we had, up until this point, the majority of the vision for OpTic pretty offensively placed, but now TSM have established the control ward ring there around Baron. They were attempting a little trailing play on top side. They thought someone was going to go answer Bjergsen's Swiftwitch there, so Grig was waiting in the brush, but no one from OpTic presented themselves, and now they're moving in to take down this line that TSM set up.
All right, as a couple of wards go away, OpTic have taken vision control a little bit, but they also reveal themselves on some wards. They're going to clear these out, though, and OpTic get to play with a bit of a vision lead. Maybe they can find some kind of bait. They can find some opening here, as they have taken over most of this river, and a couple of trinket wards come back down. But Grig gets time to knock that one out, and the vision wanes back away. TSM's turn to own the river as OpTic have shoved in mid, but Gangplank is waiting to hold the wave. And
oh, they're spread out. They see Arrow on top side, so TSM looking for someone out of position in mid that they could catch, it looked like.
And they don't find that opening just yet, though. OpTic kiting away well enough. 1900 still the gold difference here. TSM working from behind one turret. They have not done much to mid lane outer. Not that it seems to mean too much right now. Arrow actually stopped by for a Quicksilver Sash. So not adding any more damage. And Arrow's not been getting killed. He's not been the target of the TSM kind of dive combo. So I'm not sure he needed to delay his damage output, but it's the choice he made to make sure he was more safe. Now Bjergsen in a duel with Acadian finds a knockup though, the taunt as well. His days are numbered. Griggs shows up, he's gonna pop Lamb's Spite, but will there even be enough damage to turn it back around? Gets the heal, tries to run away, and Greg will not get much more done, so now a re-engage to the bottom side. They're gonna find a route onto Mithy. Here comes the curtain call. Can they pick him off? Waiting to pop his stuff as the ulti comes across as well. Big damage on the Hanser. Pops his Sterix gauge as well. More poke, and actually OpTic get control of the map for now.
They pushed him out. Hanser did get the last hit on that Scuttle Crab, though, with the parlay as they were running away. So TSM has Scuttle Vision, which is big at stopping OpTic.
Shock Blast into root from Arrow could almost be enough to get the kill, but they don't go for that play. He's in Fog of War now, so they're trying to rush down Baron. Health bar's a bit low on the TSM side. They have to come back and collapse out of this one. OpTic, though, missing every ultimate.
Galio ultimate is available. This could be bad for OpTic.
2v1, 2v0 in Opus. Go to the front line. They're going to eat him right back out. It was a bait because now comes Galio. They're going to try to finish up Baron, though. The smite fight, it gets picked up, so now the re-engage. 5v4, they've already picked up Greg. Big staying alive, and Bjergsen might not have a way out. He has flash, though. He's going to build a bit of space. Gets jumped on the stopwatch, will only buy 2.5 seconds. As PoE dives the backline, he might indeed be his kryptonite as he takes down 2. That team fight was beautiful for OpTic.
OpTic have done it. They got the Baron and they got 4 kills for themselves. They're going to be able to run through the bottom lane here. Teleport is already used. They've got a bunch of minions to push with, and they've got the Baron Siege going to be able to take down inhibitor turret number 1 already. What a disaster for TSM. I thought they were going to rush further into the pit, but they stay on the outside. OpTic finish off the Baron. They immediately kill Grig after he comes out of Devour, and now Dokla actually might have to run for himself.
This is a bad spot for him to be in. Flashes back though, has a teammate, and as the people still respawn at the temporary 5v3, middle inhibitor will fall, and it's going to be time for the reset. Now OpTic can still be chased down. Gangplank goes up in about 5 seconds. TSM can chase this one. And here comes the TP flank. This could just break the back of OpTic. Cutting to the right. And then one-shot Greg. And they got out of the way of Varus as well. The ulti missed. They've got space to get out. OpTic get an extra kill on the way to the exit. There's actually a one-shot, by the way. PoE killed him by himself.
Well then, that
other definition of one-shot.
There's a one-shot. Let's take a look at the attempt here from TSM. They don't have any vision in to see the health of the Baron. And as you talked about earlier, OpTic can burn that sucker down. So TSM caught on the outside here. They didn't get a good initiation, and instantly Grig went down there on the outside with just a couple of members from OpTic. Power of Evil on the Victor, huge damage, flashes forward, gets a bunch of the kills for himself. And this is a completely different story here.
Yeah.
Now it's OpTic, huge upper hand in the late game. Giant gold lead, Baron to push with as well.
Yep.
And PoE's tweet about carrying the squad, whew, he is doing it.
He's got a strong back. He does squats every day of the week, which I don't recommend, by the way. You should alternate your muscle groups, but either way. Power of Evil, massive here on this one. Yeah, I don't go to the gym ever, but I know that one.
If you did, you would know what to do.
I would, and so does Power of Evil on the Victor. Oh, man.
Hanser's trying to split push. You can see on the top side of your map over there, but
they're going to give this up.
You can't split push against Baron. Yeah, you're going to lose the rest of your base.
Well, if they can hold Nexus turrets, he's going to get some minions and maybe bot lane tier 2. But right now, double inhibitor is down, and the bottom inhib has an open shot as well as the turret's already gone. So OpTic walks in, the recall comes through for Hanser, 5 versus 5, 45 seconds left on the Baron buff. PoE has to respect the damage.
TSM in a very bad situation here. Only one inhibitor left to defend, and they have no defensive structures available to assist them with it. OpTic are pushing them in.
And the damage to flash in. Down comes Galio. This is the TSM fight. Can they find it? Looking at big, they get one so far. Greg in the front line does get knocked down. PoE though very, very low. Lambs are spite. Buys a lot of time for the backline. The heal comes through, and OpTic might wipe the floor. Hanser over the wall. Gonna look for a Q. Eats the Origin, staying alive just barely. And Sven makes a big play as well. A little bit too early, but the shot comes comes through. PoE knocks him down. Only one member alive, and he spots him. He stops the recall. 8 seconds, all they need is the minions flood in, and they might have the time to knock down these turrets. This should be enough. Hanser versus 2. Baron buff on, the turrets fall onto the Nexus. Hanser has to make this play happen. Barrels come down, looks for the chain, can't get the damage. They're still trading shots in. They go for the kill on the gangplank. His health bar is gonna run out, and OpTic have done it. They've knocked down TSM.
Oh my goodness. Power of Evil 7-0-3 on the Victor. Highest kill participation and kills on the team once again.
17,000 gold on Klepto Victor. Counterpicks the Galio. There have been 13 Victor games in the world in top 5 in Summer Split. PoE is 2 of them. Says, this is my comfort pick. This is my pocket pick. This is my champion. Makes it work so well here. Puts the squad on his back. Has an amazing game.
Look at the damage charts as well. He doubles everyone on his team.
Yeah.
Almost doubles everyone in the game. Hanser's the only one that even got close, and he was still 11,000 damage more than the Gangplank.
Beautiful stuff right there. TSM, a losing record in the first round robin, 4-5. The 2018 struggle seemingly not ending here. 6th place was the disappointment, but now 4-5, maybe worse than that. TSM still have their work cut out for them for this roster experiment to work. Sven and Mythi, a super high-profile pickup. Maybe just not quite putting in what they needed. Sven had a solid game, don't get me wrong. But the TSM experiment so far, not the best across 2018. PoE, though, smile on his face. Arrow, decent game on that Jhin as well. Deathless for him, 1-0.